But I remember being a kid, man, Terminators and Bruce Willis movies and all the cool James Bonds, all the action superstars that you wanted to watch and love, and going to see Days of Thunder. And man, I remember just a list of badass good movies.
Is there anything you wish you would have done instead of fighting if you knew you would have been as successful at it?
Yeah. If fighting didn't go the way I planned and I knew something I could be equally as successful, am I already good at it, or can I just make anything up?
You're going to be as good at it as you were in the UFC.
Oh, I'd go
guaranteed.
I'd go play baseball. Yeah, I'd be $100 million a year guy, and then I'd be sitting here retired, and I'd living on the banks of some beach or lake or flying jets and living the crazy good life.
Do you think but is that something you'd be willing to put the effort into though?
Well, you asked me if I could be equally as good at anything. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a dad playing catch with me when I grew up. I didn't even know anything about baseball or other sports. So was I good at it? I don't really know. I knew I was really good at being a punk and really good at fighting. So that's the path I went. But had I wanted, even a $10 million a year guy would be freaking cool. Football would be fun. But maybe I would have joined the drama team in high school and went to theater and fell in love with acting. Because here I am 40, so I could be maybe like 10 or 12 years into a pretty solid acting career and on the big screen. Because I would have been in there just before we lost the silver screens, right? Right before, when everyone used to go in high school. I mean, what a fun time. Like, you get there early, watch the previews, like, oh, those movies are coming out, I can't wait to see them. Now, movies come out, and you're like, shit, that's out? You know, you don't get excited for the movies like you used to back when maybe because they're making too many, maybe there's too many streaming platforms, maybe there's a lot of maybes, but I mean, I just remember Christmas time, Thanksgiving time, right when you got out of school, May time, couple in the summer would drop, and then a couple right back when school was starting again. That was kind of your time frames for when you'd go see the movies, and you'd just, man, you'd be so excited to the new Terminators coming out, the new, even the beginning of the Marvels. You know, the first start of the Marvels, we'd go and watch those in theaters, but I remember being a kid, man, Terminators and Bruce Willis movies and all the cool James Bonds, all the action superstars that you wanted to watch and love, and going to see Days of Thunder. And man, I remember just a list of badass good movies. They aren't making them like they used to anymore. So I would love to be who I was in the movie industry and try to remold and reform that, which I think we're trying to do right now. I think there was an overflux of movies and content that has been put out, and through social media and through everything that's happening, the idea of the people that they want to mold and become has slightly altered and changed. But I now see that the roles of the all-American action superheroes are gone, and there's not many of them. So I think we're due for a cool action star. So hopefully I can hop in that spot, or anybody would really hop in that spot would be great. But
it just needs to get done.
It just needs to get done. Yeah, it just needs to get done. You know, I really think that's a lack spot, and it's gonna come around. It's pulling full circle. So just like everything, when you have the pendulum swinging and the yin to the yang, we went all the way to COVID, and we might even come up out of the box a little bit. I don't think we could have went any higher, but now we're on our way back, you know, and when it hits the middle, we're gonna be all right. We got a little bit of rockiness to go through the presidential election and the huge depression we're gonna go through, and the crash of the house market. But once that happens and we come back through and society starts coming out of the depression and back into the flourishing and spending and everything's going good, I think that's when the movies are going to reform and take back where they were. And hopefully by then I'm caught up in that whole whirlwind mix and on the silver screen making good videos for y'all.
So from the original question of, is there anything you wish you would have done instead of fighting? If it wasn't for blank experience, you wouldn't be where you are now. I know about Mikey talking to you. Is there anything else that, like I know Mask hitting you up and saying, hey, join the Tap Out team. But that was a big fucking deal.
Well, yeah, but fighting, I mean, if it wasn't for just the upbringing and the childhood and the steps that I took along the way, good or bad, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of good things that went into it, but there's also a lot of bad, like times where I'm sitting there, you know, when you in the back of the cop car, or maybe you don't know, and you're praying like, God, this is my last time, I promise, just get me out of this and I won't do it again. And there's a lot of those moments. And then, so if I didn't have all that, I wouldn't have ended up into fighting, and I wouldn't have ended up into fighting had the Fertittas and Dana White not have bought the UFC, and had it not become the powerhouse that it is. Right when I started, none of that was around. UFC 1 was just happening. I was kickboxing and playing around. So there was a lot of things that had to fall into sequence for me to end up to where I did. And that's just a crazy journey of life. Like, it had everything. When you look back, like, if I didn't have that, would that have still worked? And no, it wouldn't have. If I didn't meet all these people along the way and I didn't train and I wasn't a total prick piece of shit growing up, I wouldn't have gotten to all the fights and become what I thought was a good idea to go and be a fighter, because I would have never known had I never done any of that fighting. I would have never decided, hey, let's try this MMA thing, if UFC never exploded and got big. So a lot of moving pieces had to all align. So if any of those got removed, I don't think I would be sitting here talking to you about fighting. I'd probably be not talking to you because I'm just a regular guy running a roofing company, working my ass off trying to make it. And yeah, that's it.
So there's a lot of blanks.
There's a lot of blanks, yeah.